So I know what you're thinking, or you might be thinking, Riley, we think you've gone a little bit overboard with the cardboard and the duct tape. Au contraire, mon frere. This week we're going to be battling this ever-pervasive weed, nutsedge. Thankfully, this is the only bed that I have this infestation in. And nutsedge is so difficult because it just keeps coming back and coming back and coming back. And it keeps coming back because at the base of these weeds are these little runners. And these runners run underground and they connect to the mothership of the nutsedge plant, which is the nut. And the nut's full of sugars and fibers that feed these. So even if you pull these up, that nut will send out more runners and more nutsedge will pop up all over the place. So unless you dug up your entire garden and pulled up every single one of these nuts, it's always going to come back. But there is a way to get rid of it, and we're going to show you how today. I did take my ear pods out. I wasn't using them for making this video, but I forgot they were in my ears. I listen to audiobooks when I'm in my garden working, which is why sometimes I just forget I had them in. And when I started making this video, I forgot I had them in, so I took them out. So we've got that going for me. All right, so we're going to use a two-part method to get rid of the nutsedge in this bed. Part two probably will not surprise you if you have been watching my videos at all, but let me go over part one first. So part one, we're just going to deprive this bed of all light, photosynthesis. We're going to kill back as much of this plant as we can back to that nut. And the way that we're going to do that is we are going to cover it with cardboard. Let me get it. Cardboard. Now, I also have some duct tape here that I'm going to use to seal up around the edges because I do not want any single bit of light getting into this bed. If this plant has taught me anything, it's that this nutsedge will find the slightest advantage and it will show up even after you thought you've killed it all. So we're going to be sealing this cardboard all the way around this bed. Now, options for cardboard. Big box stores, obviously. Lowe's, Home Depot. You could go in, talk to the people in the appliance section. They've probably got some cardboard they'll give you. If by chance they don't, you can always go online and order cardboard packaging for free from your U.S. Postal Service. So I had some extra packaging left over from the U.S. Postal Service that they delivered to me for free, and it's all I have, so that's what we're going to be using today. Let me show you how I'm going to do this. Starting to get a little bit of a sprinkle here, but all I'm going to do is I am just going to pull out as much of this nutsedge as I can. Get a head start on this. I've got another weed in here too. I don't know what that is. And we're just going to pull as much as I can out of here. There's a really good example of what nutsedge does underground. Sends out these runners. It's just a network of weeds in your garden bed. We're going to get rid of it today, though. So all the nutsedge is out of the bed. I am now going to cover this and duct tape it, and then we're going to talk about step two, the ever important step two. All right, sun is back out. South Texas weather is back. It's like 100 degrees again. Today's the first day of October. So I know what you're thinking, or you might be thinking, Riley, we think you've gone a little bit overboard with the cardboard and the duct tape. Au contraire, mon frere. This is nutsedge. This is like the dinosaurs in Jurassic Park. Remember, Life Will Find a Way? You give these guys an inch, they're going to take your whole darn town. So we're not. Part one, complete. For 1 week, we're going to be starving this bed of all sunlight. We're going to kill back all those weeds right back to the mothership of the nutsedge plant, that nut. So, step 2, how do we get to kill the nut? Believe it or not, nutsedge hates molasses. And molasses is the #1 ingredient, besides compost, in our aerated compost tea. So in 1 week, we're going to cut around the outside of this duct tape. We're going to pull up this cardboard, and we're going to do a soil drench with aerated compost tea. And I'll make that next Friday night, so I have it next Saturday afternoon, next Saturday evening when it cools down, and I'm going to come out and do a soil drench. And what is going to happen is all those microbes created by that compost and that molasses is going to start eating away at those nuts. And we're going to do that for 2 weeks in a row, and I think that is going to be enough to fully annihilate the nutsedge in this garden bed. Stick around for next week. I'll show you exactly how I do the soil drench.